Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. S.K. Raza, former Director, Institute of Pesticide Formulation Technology and also former Joint Director, Defense Research and Development Organization to a lab based in Gwalior. Today we are going to talk on module Ionization Techniques in Mass Spectrometry under the paper Atomic Spectroscopy. The aim of this module will be to introduce various types of commonly used ionization techniques in mass spectrometry, to describe the ionization and fragmentation processes in various types of ion sources, and also to discuss the benefits, limitations, and applications of various ionization techniques. At the end of this module, you will learn about how to explain the advantages and disadvantages of using various types of ionization techniques, understand the basic principles behind each type of ionization technique, and also understand the operation of various ionization techniques and when to use each one of them. Just to remind you, I told in my previous module that mass spectrometer is a sophisticated weighing machine and the whole approach revolves around ionization, which is the most important step in the entire mass spectrometry gamut. So we have to learn about the ionization techniques in a more wider perspective. The properties of ions make them easier to exploit, as I have told you, and the behavior of ions are monitored in mass spectrometry to ascertain their masses. The usefulness of MS as an identification tool requires more to it than just measuring intact molecule, and hence the ion source is responsible not only for producing the molecular ion but also giving you the fragment ions which are characteristic of the molecule. This is actually a repeat slide from module 1 telling you about the components of a mass spectrometer, and just to remind you that ionization is a very important component of a mass spectrometer or a mass spectrometry as such. Actually speaking, the entire concept of mass spectrometry revolves around the ionization. Just to revise the previous module, as I told you, you have inlet devices which depend on the nature of the molecule. You may have direct probe, you may have GC, you may have HPLC, and a modern mass spectrometer generally has more than one inlet devices. The most important, again I am repeating, is the ion source of a mass spectrometer, which depends on the nature of sample. A wide variety of ionization methods are available which ionize the molecule and then fragment it further to the fragment ions. There are various ionization techniques available and being used in mass spectrometry: electron ionization, chemical ionization, fast atom bombardment or FAB, electrospray ionization, generally denoted as ESI, atmospheric pressure chemical ionization, that is APCI, and matrix assisted laser desorption ionization, that is MALDI. As I told you, the first and the most sought after ionization technique is the electron ionization, represented as EI. It is an ionization method in which energetic electrons interact with solid or gas phase atoms or molecules to produce ions. EI was one of the first ionization techniques developed for mass spectrometry. However, this method is still one of the most popular ionization technique. This technique is considered a hard ionization method since it uses high energetic electrons to produce not only the molecular ions but also gives a lot of fragment ions. This leads to extensive fragmentation which can be helpful for structure determination of unknown compounds even. Electron ionization is the most useful for organic compounds which have a molecular weight below 600. Several other thermally stable and volatile compounds in solid, liquid and gas phases can be detected with the use of this technique when coupled with various separation methods such as GC or HPLC. It describes the principle of operation of electron ionization mass spectrometry. An analyte molecule is bombarded with fast moving high energy, that is 70 electron volt electron beam. In the process, an electron from the analyte molecule, say AB, is expelled during the collision process to convert the molecule to a positive ion with an odd number of electrons. The following gas phase reaction describes the electron ionization process, where AB is the analyte molecule being ionized, E minus is the electron, and AB plus dot is the resulting molecular ion, which we also call as radical cation or cation radical. The actual process of electron ionization, it's a molecule which you call as parent molecule or a precursor molecule. Then electron beam is there, and it results into the ionization process, which gives a molecular ion or ionized parent molecule, you may also call. However, the parent word is no more used. Maybe you can call it as a product ion formed from the precursor ion. In an electron ionization ion source, electrons are produced through thermionic emission by heating a wire filament that has electric current running through it. The kinetic energy of the bombarding electrons should have higher energy than the ionization energy of the sample molecule. The most commonly used electron energy is the 70 electron volt, at which the electrons are accelerated in the region between the filament and the entrance to the ion source block. The sample under investigation, which contains the neutral molecules, is introduced to the ion source in a perpendicular orientation to the electron beam. The close passage of highly energetic electrons in low pressure, that is 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 6 torr, maintained in the ion source, causes large fluctuations in the electric field around the neutral molecules and induces ionization and subsequently fragmentation. The radical cation products are then directed towards the mass analyzer by a repeller electrode. The ionization process often follows predictable cleavage reactions that give rise to fragment ions, which following detection and signal processing convey the structural information about the analyte. The schematic diagram of an electron ionization ion source, for example, if it's a magnetic source, then north pole and south poles are there. Analyte enters into the ion source, whether it is a direct insertion or it's a GC or HPLC. The electron beams bombard the neutral molecules as it is depicted here. Electron beams have been shown by E minus. A is a neutral molecule, and then it ends up into A positive or A plus dot. It may also form A negative, but it depends on the mode of operation of the equipment. If you are working in positive ion mode, only positive ions will be recorded. If you are working in a negative ion mode, only negative ions will be produced and then directed to the analyzer and finally detected by the detector of a mass spectrometer. Of course, the entire system works under very high vacuum. It depicts an electron impact mass spectrum, maybe of a compound ABCD. I have shown this spectrum in module 1 also. If you have a molecule ABCD, it ionizes to give you ABCD plus, and then which is the molecular ion or the precursor ion, you may call it, and then subsequently it results into the fragmentation because of the high energy imparted to the molecule, and it gives rise to various fragment ions as shown here: ABC plus, AD plus, AB plus, D plus, A plus. And these fragment ions are characteristic of a particular molecule, and they may be used as diagnostic ions for the characterization or structure elucidation of a particular compound ABCD. Coming to the chemical ionization mass spectrometry or chemical ionization ion source or chemical ionization, it is a soft ionization technique. As I told you earlier, chemical ionization technique is essentially useful when no molecular ion is obtained in the electron ionization mass spectrum of a compound, and also in the case of confirming the molecular weight of a particular compound. The chemical ionization technique uses nearly the same ion source device as in electron ionization, except that chemical ionization uses tight ion source and a reagent gas. It is a chemical ionization ion source where everything is similar except you can see an arrow showing the reagent gas entering into the ion source of a mass spectrometer. Here actually the electron beam first bombards the reagent gas, which gets ionized as it is done in the electron ion source, and then the molecule which enters from the inlet device undergoes a ion molecule reaction type of things, and either it is protonated or, depending upon the reagent gas, it may result into various adduct ions also, which are recorded into the mass spectrum. Chemical ionization, further, reagent gas is first subjected to electron impact to yield reagent gas ions. As I told you, these initial reagent gas ions further undergo ion molecule reaction with neutral reagent molecule to yield reagent selective ions, that is reagent plasma, which may be denoted as RH plus. When sample is introduced, the sample molecules A undergo ion molecule reactions with reagent plasma to produce sample ions. In general, the reagent gas molecules are present in the ratio of about 100:1 with respect to sample molecules. Pseudomolecular ions, that is A plus H plus, or protonated molecular ions, you may say, positive ion mode, or AH minus in negative ion mode, are often observed. Unlike in electron impact method, the chemical ionization process is soft ionization, as I said earlier, and yields abundant quasi-molecular ion with less fragmentation. Positive ion mode, it results, as I said, RH plus A, it gives AH plus plus G, which is a neutral species. In negative ion mode, RH minus plus A, it gives AH minus plus G. Continuing with the chemical ionization process, the fragmentation pattern of protonated molecules obtained under chemical ionization conditions may be different from that of the molecular ions observed under electron impact conditions. In CI mass spectrometry, the molecules of a vaporized sample are ionized by a set of reagent ions, that is reagent plasma, in a series of ion molecule reactions. The energy transferred by these reactions is lower than the energy imparted by electrons in electron ionization source, and therefore fragmentation of the sample molecules is greatly decreased. In some cases, you may not observe fragmentation at all. For this reason, chemical ionization mass spectrometry has been finding increasing use as a tool for the molecular weight confirmation and for elucidation of a structure of a variety of organic molecules, including differentiation of isomeric compounds. Actually, in many cases, you may not obtain the molecular weight information under electron impact ionization mode, as because of the lower stability of the molecular ion, they undergo fragmentation before the molecular ion is recorded in a mass spectrum. In such cases, CI plays a very, very important role. Generally, hydrogen, methane, isobutane, and ammonia are used as reagent gases in chemical ionization mass spectrometry. With all these CI gases, the compounds form protonated molecular ions in their CI spectra. A typical CI spectrum looks as I have shown here. It's a molecule where pseudomolecular ion is formed, M plus H at 297. That means the molecular weight of the compound in question is 296 because it is M plus H, so it becomes 297. And then, as I told you earlier, plasma is formed, and here, since it is a methane spectrum, 312 is also obtained, which is M plus CH4 plus. Here I have shown EI versus CI spectrum. You can see the first spectrum, which is an EI of a molecule, does not give you any molecular weight information at all because there is no molecular ion. So you may be misguided to take it as 417, while that is not the actual molecular weight. So we record CI spectrum and we obtained a very good M plus ammonium ion because ammonia was used as a CI reagent gas, and it gives very clear indication about the molecular weight of the compound. So recording only AEI spectrum may sometimes lead you to miscalculation or misfinding. That is why if you ask me, I will always recommend to record a CI spectrum, particularly for an unknown compound, to get the exact information about the molecular weight of the compound, because that is a very characteristic thing for the structure elucidation or structure determination of an organic compound. Coming to the fast atom bombardment ionization, it's again a soft ionization technique. It is used to analyze polar, ionic, thermally, and energetically labile and high molecular weight compounds that are not amenable to electron ionization or chemical ionization processes. Generally, the molecular weight between 300 to 6000 Daltons can be analyzed by a Fab ionization source. Sample is dissolved in a matrix and it is bombarded with argon xenon atoms, 8 to 15 kiloelectron volt, or fast moving ions such as cesium ions up to 35 kiloelectron volt. The observed peaks in Fab are those of matrix cluster ions, analyte ions M plus and M minus, impurities, and ions of matrix modifiers. Argon or xenon ions are generated by electron ionization. The ions are accelerated, focused, and neutralized by charge exchange with neutral argon xenon in the collision cell. A Fab gun, we also call it as an ion gun. It's a beam of energetic atoms or energetic ions which bombard the target analyte, which is placed on a Fab probe. The ions are produced into the ion volume, and then through lenses they reach into the mass analyzer, which may be any analyzer, whether sector or quadrupole or any other analyzer. In this slide, we would like to know how Fab works. Actually, the fast moving beam is directed towards the sample, and the sample is dissolved in a matrix and placed on a target. The beam collides, producing positive and negative ions from the matrix as well as analyte. TFA is often added to enhance the M plus H plus formation. The classes that use Fab are peptides, proteins, fatty acids, organometallics, surfactants, carbohydrates, and antibiotics. However, this particular technology is not available very often, and people are switching over to the new technologies such as electrospray ionization and MALDI ionization. A typical Fab spectrum is shown here for a big molecule which has a molecular weight of 1375. It also records M plus H plus, that is pseudomolecular ion, which is 1376. The molecular weight will be 1375. It also shows M plus sodium ion at 1398. So this is the typical Fab spectrum that you obtain. You obtain some fragment ions also, such as 558, 794, 1030, and so on. The next ionization technology available in mass spectrometry is the electrospray ionization. Actually, the development of this particular ionization technology has revolutionized the application of mass spectrometry, particularly to the biological or biomedical mass spectrometry. ESI or electrospray ionization is a technique which involves spraying of a solution of the sample through a highly charged needle called ESI capillary, which is at atmospheric pressure. The spraying process can be streamlined by using a nebulizing gas, and at the end of the needle, if you put your fingers, you will feel a beautiful fine spray which is going from the ion source into the analyzer after desolvation. The charged droplets are produced in which the positive or negative ions are solvated with solvent molecule. As I said earlier, you can operate the instrument in both ESI positive ion mode as well as ESI negative ion mode just by the click of the mouse. Heat gas or a dry gas, usually called as desolvation gas, is applied to the charged droplets to cause solvent evaporation, and gradually the ion or the molecular ion gets desolvated and recorded as M plus H plus or M plus some adduct ion. The desolvation process decreases the droplet size, leads to the Coulombic repulsion between the charges present in the droplet, and further the droplet fission leads to the formation of individual gas phase analyte ions, that critical point known as the Rayleigh limit, that are guided through ions optics into the mass analyzer and then gets recorded. And ES, an electrospray ionization source, is depicted here. As mentioned earlier, the sample solution enters through an HPLC into the electrospray ion source, which is maintained at atmospheric pressure. That is why it is also called API ion source. in the ion source, the analyte molecule gets solvated because there is a mobile phase, so it gets solvated, and then desolvation takes place, and finally through Coulombic repulsions the ionized molecules enter ions into the analyzer and they reach the detector and the compounds are analyzed. It's also a soft ionization technique and doesn't give much fragmentation. You may ask the question, how does ESI works? So it can produce singly or multiply charged ion. Actually, this is one of the most important characteristic of electrospray ionization, that is the production of multiply charged ion. As I told you, in electron ionization as well as in chemical ionization and also in fab, we generally get a singly charged ion. So the mass range of a mass spectrometer cannot be used for high molecular weight compounds for analysis. Electrospray can be used for high molecular weight compounds such as even proteins, peptides, and it is used in proteomics, genomics, and so on. The number of charges retained by a particular analyte depends on several factors such as the size of the molecule, the chemical composition, and higher order structure of the analyte molecule, the solvent composition, the presence of co-solutes, and the instrumental parameters. For small molecules, that is less than 2000 Daltons, electrospray typically generates singly, doubly, or triply charged ions, while for large molecules which are bigger than 2000 Daltons, electrospray can produce a series of multiply charged ions. Electrospray is very suitable for a wide range of biochemical compounds, including peptides and proteins, lipids, oligosaccharides, oligonucleotides, bioorganic compounds, synthetic polymers, and intact non-covalent complexes. Actually, the invention of electrospray ionization has made it possible to apply mass spectrometry into a lot of biochemical and biomedical analysis of various types of samples, biomolecules. A typical electrospray ionization mass spectrum is shown here in this particular slide. It is ESI, positive ESI of nucleotide homologue, molecular weight is 890, and the sample has been injected through LC in 1:1 acetonitrile water mixture with 0.2% formic acid as the buffer solution. So you can see MH plus is formed, then M plus Na is formed, M plus potassium is formed, M plus ammonium ion is formed. All these ions are arising because of the use of the buffer solutions as well as the mobile phase of HPLC. This slide shows the electrospray mass spectrum of a protein. As I told you, multiply charged ions are formed in an electrospray spectrum for protein or peptides. Here also you can see a lot of peaks. They are not actual ionized ions, they are actually multiply charged ions. Various ions are placed on each peak, and then the software is available where you deconvolute all these mass peaks and then arrive at the mass spectrum, arrive at the molecular ion or molecular weight of the protein molecule. A slight modification of electrospray ionization is the atmospheric pressure chemical ionization called APCI. It has also become an important ionization source because it generates ions directly from solution and it is capable of analyzing relatively non-polar compounds. Similar to electrospray, the liquid effluent of APCI is introduced directly into the ionization source through APCI probe. The sample solution undergoes nebulization to form an aerosol spray of fine droplets, and it is rapidly heated in a stream of nitrogen desolvation gas before emerging from the probe as a stream of dissolved vaporized sample plume. The solvent or the reagent ions are formed in the region of the corona discharge needle, which is a part of APCI source. These ions react with analyte molecule to form singly charged protonated or deprotonated analyzed ions depending upon in which mode you are operating. Atmospheric pressure chemical ionization ion source. It is a small modification of the electrospray ionization. Actually, both of these come under API ion source, that is at atmospheric pressure ionization. One is called electrospray, another is called atmospheric pressure chemical ionization source. You may consider both of them as EI and CI sources. So here mostly small molecules are analyzed. The structure is almost the same. You get a spray of ions which is deflected to the analyzer, and then they are recorded as the mass spectrum. How does APCI works? In general, proton transfer occurs in the positive mode to yield A plus H plus ions. In the negative ion mode, either electron transfer or proton loss occurs to yield M plus dot or A minus H minus dot ions respectively. The moderating influence of the solvent clusters on the reagent ions and of the high gas pressure reduces the fragmentation during ionization and results in primarily intact pseudomolecular or quasi-molecular ions. Multiple charging is typically not observed, presumably because the ionization process is more energetic than electrospray ionization. So this is a technique which is used mostly for smaller molecules under analysis by HPLC mass spectrometry. A typical APCI spectrum is shown here for Virgo Orinon A. So you can see that a molecular ion is formed, or pseudomolecular ion is formed at 229, and the adduct ion is there also at 261. No fragmentation is observed. Now we are going to discuss the matrix assisted laser desorption ionization, that is MALDI, which is one of the latest technology developed in mass spectrometry and has been highly useful to the biomass spectrometrist or biological mass spectrometry. The matrix assisted laser desorption ionization is a technique to allow the high molecular weight compounds such as organic macromolecules bimolecular into the gas phase as intact ions. MALDI is one of the recent developments of soft ionization techniques in the field of mass spectrometry. It can desorb intact analyte molecular ions with relative masses up to 300 kilodalton. This technique is highly useful for the analysis of protein, peptides, and other biomolecules. A MALDI ion source looks as it is depicted in this particular slide. Generally, the analyzer used with MALDI is the time of flight analyzer, which we will discuss in the next module. Here you can see a laser beam bombards the molecules placed on a MALDI plate, which comprises of some matrix also, and then they get ionized into the molecular ion, which is recorded by the analyzer, which is generally, as I said, TOF analyzer. Now let us understand how does MALDI works. In MALDI MS analysis, the analysis is first co-crystallized with a large excess of a matrix compound. Lot of matrices are available, after which on laser radiation of this matrix, the analyte preparation results in desorption of the matrix as a plume which carries the analyte along with it into the gas phase. Thus, the matrix plays a key role by strongly absorbing the laser light energy and causing indirectly the analyte to vaporize. You have to choose the matrix according to the nature of the compound being analyzed. The matrix also serves as a proton donor and acceptor, acting to ionize the analyte in both positive and negative ionization modes respectively. The TOF analyzer or the time of flight analyzers are typically used with the MALDI ionization source. A typical MALDI spectrum with a high molecular weight fraction of S28 matrix is PNG. You can see a lot of peaks are obtained with different fragment ions are here. Different mass to charge ratio are there, and you can again deconvolute them to arrive at the molecular weight of the compound in question. A summary of the various types of ionization methods: EI, CI, FAB, ESI, and MALDI. I have tried to summarize the results discussed so far. So typical analytes are given here, such as relatively small volatile compounds are compatible to EI, fate with CI. FAB deals with larger molecules, relatively carbohydrates, organometallics, peptides, and non-volatile compounds can also be analyzed by FAB. Electrospray, on the other hand, can analyze. Electrospray and MALDI are useful techniques for peptides, proteins, and non-volatile compounds, nucleotides, and so on. Sample introduction EI and CI, generally GC or direct insertion can be used. For FAB, sample is mixed in various matrix, while for ESI and MALDI, you can have HPLC or syringe infusion of the analyte into the ion source of the mass spectrometer. In MALDI, sample is mixed in solid matrix. The mass range is given here up to 1000 Daltons. You can analyze by EI or CI. FAB can analyze up to 6000 Daltons, while ESI, actually there is no limit, but up to 200,000 Daltons you can analyze. And with MALDI you can analyze up to 500,000 Daltons of size of the molecule. Some highlights of the method. EI is a hard ionization method which is versatile and gives a lot of structural information, and actually speaking, this is still the most widely used technique, ionization technique in mass spectrometry. CI is a soft ionization method, gives you a pseudomolecular ion and maybe some adduct ions, may not give you much fragmentation. Fast atom bombardment is also a soft method but harder than ESI or MALDI. ESI is a soft method again. Ions, often multiply charged ions, are formed, particularly in larger molecules such as proteins and peptides. MALDI is also a soft ionization method, and you can analyze very high mass compounds by this particular technique. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this particular module. Depending upon the nature of the sample, a wide variety of ionization techniques are available. You have to choose the ionization technique according to the application and according to the nature of the molecule that you are going to analyze, either direct inlet device if you are using, or GC device you are using, or HPLC device you are using. All of these ionization techniques ionize the samples in gas phase with a positive or negative charge. You can select the mode accordingly. They differ in the energies imparted to the target molecule, and hence you get the spectrum accordingly. Thank you.